monsters of the fight life. Today we have on Matt Horwich.
God bless the multiverse, heroes and champions and river dolphins, flower hat jellyfish, everyone following our dreams, getting the land, getting the girls. We got a lot of important shit to do.
All right, Matt. What got you into fighting? The why?
Well, when I was a kid, I went back and forth between wanting to be a martial artist and wanting to be an artist or scientist. Now I'm kind of hoping I can do all the above, the art of everything. Because you can't fight forever.
Yeah.
You can because life's a fight to push our limits athletically and intellectually. But you can't do guerrilla work forever. Eventually you got to get smarter about shit. If you didn't get to be the main John Jones or Israel Adesanya millionaire.
You have a plan B?
Yeah. And that's just, that doesn't mean you stop doing MMA or you're less passionate about it. That just means you're growing as a complete artist in life. Because if I got to be the main rock star millionaire champion easily, I probably wouldn't have thought about stuff as much and had to find a way to work smarter. Probably just be tunnel vision on being an athlete and say, oh shit, why change anything?
Yeah. All right. So pretty much, you're a pretty cerebral guy, right? You like to think a lot. So you kind of that more intelligent side of a fighter. So you can you see to like all the different options, all the different strategies. You're using more of this than Braun, which is awesome. I really appreciate that.
Well, thanks so much. Intelligence, precision, and timing beats speed and strength.
Yeah, as the old quote goes. Yeah.
Conor McGregor said, what do you say? Precision and timing beat speed and strength, but intelligence.
Speed and power. Yeah. And then,
intelligence, creativity.
Yeah.
It's a unique gift God gave humans because we're the only animal that can make microscopes and telescopes and question the universe.
Unless there's some elephant or some dolphins down there with a secret lab I don't know about.
Yeah, dolphins would have a hard time because they don't have hands for making stuff. Like, we're perfectly made for that shit.
Those opposable thumbs. So how did you get into fighting? Except that the why kind of cerebral. Like, how did it?
Well, when I was a kid, I would watch all the Bloodsport and Van Damme movies and shit like all kids, and American Ninja. And then I heard about this real-life kumite called the UFC, where all the different styles were going to compete and see which martial art was the best. And then, of course, Hoist Gracie submitted everyone because nobody had ever trained jiu-jitsu. None of the kickboxers. Ken Shamrock did. I shouldn't say nobody, but most of the kickboxers
and he was kind of, was that UFC 1 or was that later?
Yeah, UFC 1.
I thought Ken came later. Was Ken on the first one?
Was Ken? I think Hoist beat Ken, submitted him in the first one.
Uh-huh.
And then in the second one, he beat Pat Smith.
Yeah. Because they were doing like already the kind of nose hold bar where they were kind of mixing it up. It wasn't just one style, Ken.
Yeah. Yeah, Ken Shamrock, he actually, he knows some shit in the multiverse about submissions as well as Hoist Gracie.
All those big games.
Both of them, yeah.
Like Matt Hume. Matt Hume was one of those pioneers.
Yeah, Matt Hume for sure. I had the chance to train with him at AMC.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense because of Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Washington State, where you were first training out of, right?
Yeah, back then, Josh Barnett and Bob Sapp and Ivan Solivari were there. It was a great team. Demetrius Johnson's there now, huh?
Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson's the man. He's still kicking ass, doing great.
Yeah, because I don't think Henry Cejudo is going to go down to 125 again. He already vacated the belt, and then now, Mighty Mouse is over off in Asia, so still, you could still say, in my opinion, he's a GOAT of 125.
Yeah, well, he finished Henry Cejudo.
In the first fight,
never finished him.
Yeah, there was a real close decision.
Yeah. So I don't think that dethrones him yet decisively.
That makes sense.
Yeah, those guys are amazing, though. Since Henry Cejudo dusted T.J. Dillashaw and then won the next fight, that showed that the flyweights were legit.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big T.J. Dillashaw fan. I learned a lot from studying his breakdowns, and he's a super athlete. And I had him on that fight.
I did too.
To Henry Cejudo, but
Henry came in there and shoved him over.
Legit. Yeah. Overhand right, though. How many guys can get knocked out from the overhand right in a row? Because T.J. Dillashaw knocked out poor Cody Garbrandt twice with the same overhand right.
I thought it was like a right hook.
It was, but overhand right.
He switches stances so much we don't know what stance he's in.
One was from southpaw and the other one was from orthodox.
Yeah, you're right.
and he caught, but it was the same right hand, and then he got caught by Henry Suto by the right hand.
That makes sense.
After he caught Cody Garbrandt twice with it, he got caught once by it. Pretty funny, the never-ending strike of the right hand.
So we can get into your long, crazy record of all you fought, but let's get into IFL first. Just like, how do you think your thoughts on IFL?
IFL was great while it lasted. I mean, we got a salary of like an extra $1,000 a month.
That was nice to get actually trained to fight, rather than like your fight is paying for your camp that you just had or the next camp. Like it's already paid for.
Yeah, we had all that stuff, and like my last fights after I won the belt up then, I was making 15.
IFL Middleweight Champion?
Yeah, against Benji Raddick. But even up leading to it, I was making $15,000 a fight. Mm-hmm. And the last fight I made $26,000. Spent it all being young and dumb. I should have got a nice hippie girl and saved it for land instead of paying rent on stupid stuff.
Yeah, land. That's the real goal. Land never changes.
I mean, the girl I was with was a nice girl and everything, but we were both young and dumb and spent it on rent and stupid shit instead of getting land. And he who farms his land's wise, because then you can build your business.
What were you doing at the time? So you were training full time? Did you have a side job on top of that for more income, or were you training anybody?
No, I did some private lessons, but I didn't really have a side job or anything. I just put it all towards fighting.
Yeah, and then at the time you could with the IFL, the salary.
Yeah, IFL took good care of their fighters. It's a shame the business didn't do better. In my opinion, I think the mistake they made is they didn't have the fights in the team's hometowns and build up to it. Like they kept having them at the Mohegan Taj Mahal.
Oh, so you bring if you bring a home crowd in, it probably would draw in more.
Yeah, get everyone behind the show and watching it.
Yeah, because otherwise, like if you have a team up, say Sacramento or the Bay Area, you have another team, let's say Pat Miletich, which is where I grew up at in Iowa, and you have them to come to Vegas or whatever, like their fans aren't going to come out there. They're not going to fly all the way out there.
Yeah.
For the most part. Maybe they're direct family, but like not their homies and everything.
Well, I heard they had one of the biggest turnouts in Seattle.
Oh, yeah?
And then they didn't have the shows in Seattle and Oregon anymore, where they had like the Wolfpack and the Tiger Sharks. And I thought that was a mistake. I don't know. I guess they had a deal with the certain casinos and stuff.
They're just looking
like
at venues.
In Rhode Island. And I thought that ended up being a stupid business choice.
Yeah. Well, right now, the only one people are doing it, funny, PFL is the only one doing salary right now, and it's because of Ray Sifu, former fighter, and now is the promoter of it.
Is that the one where the winner
gets $1 million? We talk about that one a lot. I'm a PFL fan.
Shit, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we have Lance Palmer. He's won it twice at 145. Welterweight, we just had Ray Cooper III. He did the Cinderella story. He got knocked out by John Doomsday Howard in the regular season. You fight 2 or 3 times in the regular season to qualify for playoffs. It's like the NFL. You qualify with 2 or 3 fights. Finishes get you more points. Once you make the playoffs, it's just like a tournament style. You make playoffs and then up to the finals, and you fight for $1 million at New Year's.
And you get a certain pay for your fights leading up to it?
Yeah, they're on salary. Yeah. And then I think they make money per fight.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
It's Ray Sifu. He's a former fighter, so it's kind of cool seeing former fighters get back into business. Like, I know Dana White was like into boxing or something like that, but right now they're not getting paid a lot. Like, you can make more money in other promotions or even local promotions around here.
Yeah, it depends on who the fighters are. I mean, I don't know how much money Dana White and the higher-ups are
it's just because there's so many fighters, because it's international, and they have stock all over the world, so they have like a huge pool. It's saturated. And that's why they kind of have UFC events like every weekend now, it seems like.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I'm excited.
Oh, I love it too. I just feel bad for the fighters. And then, there was talks by Leslie Smith up north. She's in Bellator now, but she's still advocating for like fighters union. I don't want to really get too political about it, if there's a left solution or right solution, as long as the solution works. So either unionize or pay them salary. I mean, I think just paying them salary would work, but it's just coughing up the money. And I know they're investors to the WME. It's like, the Williams sisters in tennis. They're one of the biggest profiters and investors from WME. WME, they just take all these celebrities' money and they invest it in something they think they'll boom. And that was the UFC. And right now, I think the investors made like $300 million, which is good on them. That's the point of investing. You're supposed to get something out of it. But I wish they would have did a formula where maybe that wasn't the case and you could pay more to the fighters. Like, I think there should, the total cost marginal cost. I'm in economics right now, so we can go about cost, but the cost should have been maybe a little bit more to the investors a little bit. Maybe should have a little bit more to the fighters. Maybe like just a couple thousand per fighter.
Yeah, that would be great if they can make it work. The problem is nobody's made it work yet.
Yeah. It's just like if you're on the bottom of the UFC, you're still a bottom feeder, so.
Yeah, UFC, when I fought there, I made like 15 grand. Dana White gave me an extra bonus.
And then what time frame was that? We got to talk about time frame because they're like 1,500 now. I was like, what? What time was that, you think?
Oh shit, that was like might have to look that shit up.
Back in the day?
I know J.J. Thompson discovered the Electron in 1897.
But you can't remember your last fight? Yeah. Their UFC fight?
I don't know that shit.
But so 1,500, I'm going to say, was that probably around 2005?
Probably.
Yeah, 2005, 2008, if I remember right.
Versus Dan Miller.
Yeah, and you fought Dan a couple times, right? You fought him in IFL?
No, I never fought him in IFL. That was UFC 90.
Yeah.
But it's October 24th, 2008.
So 2008, you made $1,500.
Yeah.
Now it's $1,500 to show and $1,500 to win?
No. Shit. How much did I make on that again? That shit was a long time ago.
Yeah. Wow, we got an OG here. I've had nothing but OGs on so far. 2 guests. Yeah, you know what's funny about PFL too? We had Erin Tohill on, and she wants to fight Kayla Harrison. That's the one they made her division for. She's like Rousey 2.0. She's at 55. She's bigger than Cyborg. 155 lightweight women's.
Who's bigger than Cyborg?
Kayla Harrison. She's a new up-and-coming thing in PFL. She just won the championship.
Yeah, I gotta see those fights. Where do we watch those now?
I believe they're on ESPN right now.
ESPN, nice.
Yeah, PFL. It's like I like it. It's coming up.
Because I've been following one. I love Demetrius Johnson and Giorgio.
One's good because of weight cutting. I like that approach, the hydration test, until someone finds out a way to game plan it. But I don't think you can. So it'll cut those guys that cut like 30 pounds. It makes it more, I guess, smaller pool for fighters, and then they do more weight classes. Do you think there should be more weight classes?
More weight classes? They
Like
could try it and see if it's marketable. I mean,
I guess it all comes back to money. Yeah.
I think there are some that would be marketable, like between light heavyweight and middleweight, possibly.
Yeah.
Because
160,
those are great
155.
weight classes we're all stoked with.
Yeah.
Especially the middleweight division.
And belts sell fights too. That's why they always try to, they made a belt. They made a BMF belt, They just throw out belts like candy because belts get people kind of tuned in.
I wonder why Demetrius Johnson didn't end up go with PLA.
PFL?
PFL.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just try out Asia. Maybe he was interested in the hydration cuts. Maybe just a name for himself out there. I think they pay quite well. I think he's just in your point of career where he was already the GOAT. Now he's just make enough money, take care of his family. I know he has 2 kids.
He makes $1 million a fight there?
I don't know about that, but I know he makes probably good money.
Yeah,
100,000 maybe. I say we're in the hundreds.
Still, $1 million sounds a lot better.
Yeah, I don't think so. He's never really had that draw though. In the UFC, they didn't like it. That's why they were kind of getting rid of the flyweight division.
But I think that changed a little since Henry Cejudo knocked out TJ
Yeah, well, right now it's open, it's vacant. It's
After
gonna be
that, I'm like, oh shit.
It's going to be Joseph Benavidez, who's my favorite in it, versus Figueroa is his name. Davison Figueroa. But yeah, I think Benavidez, and I'd like to see Alex Perez, him and do a rematch. That'd be pretty good. Alex Perez out of Yokohama, he's a really good guy.
Who's Henry Cejudo fighting next? Jose Aldo?
They were talking about that, and then he was calling out 145, or who was he calling out? Oh, he was trying to call out Volkanovski at 145. I don't think it's ever going to happen. He also calls out Valentina at 135 women's, or 125 women's.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him fight at 145. Why the hell not?
Yeah, so give him C4. He calls himself Triple C, so we got Quadruple C.
Yeah, that hasn't been done yet, huh? 3 weight classes.
3 weight classes, and he's an Olympian. Yeah. Gold medal Olympian. It's crazy.
Think someone will win 3 belts sooner or later?
Probably sometime. It's going to be someone. It'd probably be a smaller dude than a bigger guy, you think, with the gaps.
Yeah.
With a welterweight. There's not going to be a welterweight to
left. What's John Jones going to do? He's out of
We maybe could have saw that with Rumble Johnson, since he was at welterweight, went middleweight, was at heavyweight, light heavyweight. I think he's supposed to go fight again at heavyweight. Talks about it. He just had a sumo wrestling thing. down in Florida, I saw, and he just got smoked by some wrestler. Just picked him up. It was a giant dude. It was kind of like a spoof thing, but it was it kind of reminded you of the Rocky movie.
Didn't he get submitted by a really good grappler too? Heel hooked.
I think recently, a sub only thing. I think they did it down in Florida. That's becoming big.
But Rumble Johnson is a beast if he can throw heavy hands.
Yeah.
He spun Cormier around.
Yeah, if he would have just not kept the distance and kept the range and started grappling with him. I remember the corners.
What an idiotic move trying to wrestle Cormier.
Yeah, I know. His corners were screaming, "Not again! Why does this always happen? He's not listening." he could have had the belt. And that would have been cool to watch him.
But I've seen it work the other way though too, because Stipe actually took Cormier down. Sometimes. John Jones did too, so it can be done.
Can be done, but if you're really going to finish DC, it's on
Rumble
the
Johnson,
feet.
it was just a terrible decision and timing.
Let's see here. So he fought guys like, Tom Watson, who was in the UFC also.
Tom Watson, yeah, that was a good, tough battle.
Did you fight Jason Lambert? One of the Lamberts.
I fought Jason Lambert twice, lost to him once, got TKO'd. That was a real stupid fight. Won a split decision in Canada.
And then you and Thales Leites have went back and forth quite a few times, right?
I was the only one to submit Thales Leites.
Were you naked choke, right?
Yeah. And I also got submitted by him the second time in Brazil. But then I went and swam with the river dolphins the next day, so I was the happiest after losing the fight. And it was
Brazilian river dolphins.
Yeah, I swam with the real river dolphins in the Amazon.
That's crazy.
The natives took them out to see them, and you could pet them and everything.
That's crazy.
A bunch of the fighters went out. We got pictures and shit on my Facebook, and it's like hanging out with them in the wild.
That's like a really an envious thing. My goals as a fighter would be to travel the world, kind of like a ronin, you know?
Yeah.
Just travel the world like a warrior. So my teammate Eric Vanderlee travels all the world in Europe. You know, he's Dutch, but he's been to Asia. Fought in China. I remember he was sending me pictures of a hotel room. I think it was
China.
I don't know if it was Hong Kong or Shanghai, but the air pollution's so bad they have a gas mask in the hotel room, like industrial sized gas mask. I'm like, shit. Just like he's traveled all over the world, you know. They're just fighting.
I think they got the robot motel in China where it's all run by robots.
I think so too. There's one, or maybe Japan.
I'd want to stay there.
Yeah, it's really cool to travel the world and fight, and just, that's a free vacation sometimes too.
Yeah, and the fight with Thales Leites, it was one of my best performances. I was doing really good takedowns. I had his back, and I did a lot of really good stuff, and then I just screwed the goose and made the one mistake where I let him go to punch him when he was standing back up, and then he took me down, and I had expended so much energy on those takedowns at pace, and then I got arm triangled and couldn't hear my corner that there's a short time because my cauliflower ear. And I said, shit, I guess I fucked up, got caught.
I mean, Thales Leites too, and that's his signature thing. I've seen him finish people.
I was able to
lose Tim Bosch with the arm triangle too.
Oh yeah, he got a lot of arm triangles, and I was able to survive it in our first fight.
Yeah.
Like I did the right defense.
Telephone, for the viewers that don't know, the telephone defense.
I did that, and I turned my chin towards the arm that goes on your carotid artery.
Yep.
And that was enough to
made
survive
him a space, yep.
Yeah, I don't know what my problem was the second time.
You hadn't swam with the Dolphins. Should have swam with the Dolphins first, and everything would have been good.
Yeah, get inspired before maybe not to tap out like a stupid from the arm triangle. Especially with a short time left when I couldn't hear my corner. But Guima's got a Brazilian accent.
Oh, yeah.
Guima from Kings, white Brazilian.
Oh, you were at Kings at the time, that's right. You went from Washington to Kings MMA down here.
Well, not straight from there. I went Washington, and then I was at Team Quest mostly with Matt Lindland and Dan Henderson. Ed Herman, all the guys, Chris Lieben.
So that's a lot of good. That's a lot of good middleweights for you to train with.
Yeah.
That's a good pool middleweights. You just named about four decent, great middleweights.
Chael Sonnen,
Chris Lieben, The Law,
Nate Quarry.
Oh, Nate Quarry, yeah, another one. So yeah, you were with the OGs right there at middleweight. That's some good sparring. That's good drilling, training.
One time, me and Jake Ellenberger were hired by Matt Lindland and working on his farm, and we had to move some goats.
That's
and
cool.
Jake Ellenberger was scared of the goats.
Isn't Jake Ellenberger from Nebraska?
Yeah.
So
and I was like, calm down, Jake Ellenberger. They're just goats.
Where was the farm at?
And he's like, I don't know. They could puncture one of our testicles.
Oh, they had the horns and everything? They're like rams?
I'm just kidding. I was kind of afraid of the goats, too.
The goats? Where was the
farm?
farm
And then
at?
I told Tyson Jeffries to go get them. It It was out in the country in Oregon. I forget.
Oregon. Matt Lawland from Oregon.
Yeah.
Southpaw.
He's in Colorado now. He's doing really well. He's coaching the Olympic wrestling team now.
Oh, dope. Yeah, because he is high level in Greco, his credentials.
Silver medalist, yeah.
Yeah. So that's dope.
Not many people get the silver medalist.
And you think out of wrestling, which is better, freestyle or Greco for fighting MMA?
I would think freestyle because the George St. Pierre double leg and single leg, double leg and single leg seem like the highest percentage takedowns.
Yeah, versus upper body. Though Matt Lawland could prove otherwise because Matt's
the best of the best Greco guy. I'm pretty sure they could fuck you up at it.
And you see that with judo because judo and Greco-Roman are kind of similar with throws and upper body.
I would like to see like a special thing in wrestling where the best Greco guy at the end who wins it all and the best freestyle guy compete against each other.
That would be good, but then they have to do a medium. Probably like a folk style or college rules.
Yeah, because I think it should be anything goes, freestyle and everything.
Like they merge it because the freestyle scoring system's kind of different when you get to the ground.
Maybe a different scoring system.
And then Greco, it's all upper body, and then you get the 5-star throw and things like that.
Yeah, freestyle just seems like you've got a lot more options because you've got your ankle picks, your single, and you see David Taylor with the all the shit he's doing with the ankle pick. He goes for it not even to get the ankle pick every time.
What's his name? Magic Man, I think his name is.
Yeah, he's amazing. Olympian. I've been studying his breakdowns, trying to hit the ankle.
Yeah, you sent me one. He's right here at the training lab too.
What?
With TJ Dillashaw, they're right in like Anaheim Hills or Belinda area.
Oh shit, he was hanging out with TJ Dillashaw?
Yeah, he trained at the training lab because it's their strength and conditioning coach, Sam Calvita.
Oh, wow. I love both those guys.
Yeah, he's like a rocket scientist, but he became like a nutritionist / strength conditioning. That's why they get the output they do.
Literal rocket scientist?
Like, I guess he was, yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
I know Robert Hutchins Goddard made the first rocket, but Carl von Lein was the first to freeze oxygen for rocket fuel, which ended up being rocket fuel because you freeze oxygen by compressing it and it expands and freezes.
Yeah. So Sam does that kind of shit, but with your body, because he is like a ultra marathon kind of guy. He does the Ironman triathlons a lot. So yeah, a lot of people are giving him shout outs. There's Juan Archuleta from Bellator, trains with them. Georgie Karakian, he trains with them. All those guys are right up in that Anaheim Hills or Berlinda. Cub Swanson.
Oh wow.
As far as Mike Bisping doesn't train with them, but he's done fighting anyway, but him and Cub, I think, own the same UFC gym.
Doesn't Bisping come back sometimes at the drop of a hat, though? He fought Kelvin Gastelum.
No, he's retired now, especially with the eye surgery, and he just got his knee done, like a whole knee replacement.
I thought he always had one eye, though.
Yeah, true. But he just got his knee done.
Replacement.
He's making good money right now in the UFC with commentating and...
I don't see how these guys always run out of money, though, like Chuck Liddell.
I just invest. Well, Chuck probably just partied too much.
But Chuck, when I saw him, he was staying sober and not drinking or anything.
Maybe just the women, who knows?
Yeah, the last fight, he looked like he was partying too much or something.
Yeah, when he got cornered by Antonio and he fought Tito. They should never did that fight.
The Tito fight, that just looked ridiculous. He looked so fat and slow in it, and I love Chuck Liddell. One of these days they're going to hear me talking shit, and I'm going to say, oh man, I mean, Chuck's still the best when he's 80. He looked pretty old and slow in that one.
All right, so we did some big shout-outs to the guys you fought. You went to Poland for a while, right? How was Poland?
Poland, I lived there for a year. There's a lot of beautiful, strong, hardworking people, beautiful women.
Did you notice kickboxing's kind of bigger out there in Europe because of the Dutch scene? So right now it's super big. You got Reem and then Jermaine Durand out of there. But right now we have some of the bigger names in K1 are coming out of the Dutch.
I watched it. Yeah, I know Holland's got a great scene. I mean, Holland has been the best in the heavyweight division.
We kind of see that out of Poland with John Jacek with their Muay Thai, and then Carolina. She's also fighting recently, and was at the UFC Auckland. And then Caroline Kowalkiewicz, and they have the same. They both fought each other for a title. And Caroline's kind of had a downward spiral a little bit. She's a pick-me-up fight. Keep on throwing her grapplers, and her grappling's not there yet.
Yeah, they're all amazing. I love Yona Jacek. Can't say her name, but
Joanna Jacek,
really
yeah.
Nice.
And then your boy just fought Corey Anderson.
John Blachitz. Can't say his name either correctly, but I love that guy. He's my training buddy. When I was in Poland for a year, I taught a jiu-jitsu class there. They were nice enough to give me a jiu-jitsu class while I was surviving in the wild world of Poland, figuring shit out.
Yeah.
And I rolled with Jan a lot, and he's a great guy, amazing fighter. It's great to see him kicking ass, doing so well.
Yeah.
Got John Jones is a great champion, and I love the guy who says good things about Jesus and tries to do his best, but I'm going for Jan to
shot. Your boy, you gotta go your boy.
Yeah,
that's a big feather in your hat to say I knocked out John Jones and I beat John Jones for the title.
Yeah, easier said than done, but he's a great fighter, and I'm pulling for him to shock the world. I don't know John Jones, so
yeah,
Jan's my boy.
So Adam, let's start with the.
You think I'm saying his name right?
Who knows, man? We're at the guy.
Jan Blachets. I think that's
well,
right.
Let's break down that middleweight picture real quick before we get to the light heavyweight. So middleweights we have right now, Adesanya Stylebender versus Yoel Romero.
I can't root against either of those guys because I'm a huge fan of both of them.
Yeah.
I love the Soldier of God, Yoel Romero, and Israel Adesanya is just like a real-life Black Panther super ninja, reaction time and movement. If I had to pick one scientifically, I would say it's Israel Adesanya's time, that he seems to be a step ahead of everyone at kickboxing and coming in with a good game plan and just great angles,
matrix level
punches. But both of them deserve good things, and Yoel Romero is a much more dangerous fight than Robert Whittaker, I think, because of his wrestling skill. He's a higher level wrestler than Robert Whittaker.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And he's just freakish athletic when he catches anyone.
And we already saw Stylebender fight Gastelum. That was a really good fight. And Gastelum's got a great wrestler. Kevin Gastelum right out of King's MMA.
Yeah, Gastelum's a great guy.
That's how he got his belt, because Whittaker was hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
That was one of the fight nights, and that was on the same night, I believe, as the Holloway versus Poirier for the 155 belt.
You know, the thing with Yoel Romero, the Soldier of God, though, is he waits too much, and then he does the surprise motherfucker, and
that's a wrestling technique for high-level wrestlers.
And he almost puts him away, but then if he doesn't put him away, lets the other guy stay more busy.
I feel like he can't do that because on weight he cuts, so he's just conserving energy, and otherwise he just stands on the fence and parries. And he almost got rocked by Paulo Costa, and we'll get into him too. So
but he also did that surprise motherfucker moment where he almost put Paulo Costa on his back too.
Yep.
And teed off on him. The same thing he did with Robert Whittaker. Like he'll let that win more of the round, but then he'll do the surprise motherfucker and almost put him away.
Yeah. So it's definitely those two. I think Whittaker's down on the bottom right now. And then I would say, and Gastelum too. So I'd say
Hernanier's just a beast.
That's the dark horse. Him and then Paulo Costa, I think. I don't know if they fought yet.
Well, he finished Anderson Silva, which Israel Adesanya did not.
Yeah.
And then he finished Jack Hermanson, and that was really legit and solidified his place in the division.
Yeah, so if he can, I don't know with injuries, if he can fight Paulo Costa, and then the winner of that should get the winner of Stylebender and Yoel. If that happens.
Depends on how long Stylebender wants to wait.
Well, Stylebender's already calling out the heavyweight division and things like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all talk, but, it gets you talking. It gets the fans riled up.
Yeah, I like Stylebender. He's a great champion.
He said if Yoel doesn't make weight too, he's going to have a backup plan. So maybe it might be, it won't be Kenny Ayers because he's getting a pec surgery. We're talking about that. His left pec fully removed, so Kenny Ayers out of the picture for a while.
That's the only good replacement, though.
Yeah, they could do, I don't know, Paulo Costa, Darren Till.
Paulo Costa, he's out too. Isn't he still from the surgery?
Maybe, so it would be like Darren Till. It would literally just be Darren Till.
I love Darren Till, but for like a
he's only got the one win over Gastelum now, so.
Yeah, I would rather see Paulo Costa or Gerard Cannonier.
So yeah, the middleweight picture is kind of hard right now because there's so many injuries.
And that's such a stacked division too.
Yeah, it is.
I mean
all the divisions are.
Before Dominic Reyes and Thiago Santos, it was just John Jones dominating.
Yeah.
And John Jones is like Anderson Silva used to be in the middleweight division when he was a step ahead of.
Well, I think the lightweight belt. I mean, that belt's a whore. That belt's been around the weight of so many men. That belt switches hands. There's no one who's had it for a while. I think Frankie had it for a bit. Benson did too, and then BJ. But it's always just changing hands.
Yeah, BJ Penn had it a long time. Then Frankie Edgar, I don't think Frankie kept it for quite as long because he lost it to Ben Smooth Henderson.
Yeah.
And then Ben Smooth Henderson was the toughest kid in that weight class for a while, and then he started losing after Pettis.
Yeah.
And couldn't win a fight. And then
RDA.
Pettis lost to Dos Anjos and then couldn't win a fight.
RDA to Alvarez, and then boom, McGregor.
Oh shit, God bless the multiverse.
Alright.
What the heck were we talking about? The middleweight division, though, is so stacked. Because you've got, ever since Anderson Silva lost, then Luke Rockhold beat Weidman, and then Luke Rockhold lost to Bisping.
Yep.
And then there was Yoel Romero, who we all think would have killed Bisping.
Yeah, Bisping lost to GSP vacated, and then they did the Whitaker, Yoel Romero won, which is a great fight.
Yeah,
but you're never really the same after you fight Yoel.
Yoel's a beast.
He destroys your body, makes you not want to fight again.
And he's really hard to hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, even the really great champions that are peppering him up, winning more of the round.
It's really just been cardio. So there was Stoolgate with Tim Kennedy when he stood on the stool too long, and there was a couple other BS complaints. But yeah, man, the guy is just. I mean, he's an Olympian.
Man, you better make weight, or that's gonna ruin my night, because that's the fight I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And Darren Till's a great fighter, but I want to see the Soldier of God, Yoel Romero versus Israel Adesanya.
Yeah. That's what
I've
fills
been
the seats.
excited about that one for a while.
So the light heavyweight picture, right now we have your boy Jan, and then Dominic Reyes, who just lost a real close decision. They can run that back fight back with John Jones. So I'd say those are the top three.
Yeah, Chael Sonnen was saying on his podcast, he did a podcast on his John Jones is scared to do the rematch with Dominic Reyes or not. And it's a great podcast for grabbing everyone's attention.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem like he would duck. It seems like he's ducking if he does take, Jan. But, I mean, the fight was really close. And at first, I wish they would have given it to Reyes.
It was close, and a lot of people thought...
Come down to the third round, basically.
But I think in order to beat John Jones now, you've got to beat him without a doubt, and decisively. And did he do enough to do that?
Yeah, I mean, 4 and 5, he just took off, and John picked up. And then Rogan made a good point. I want to see, if it's an actual fight, who's left standing. So if it's there's no time limits, John just kept picking up, and Reyes died out because he put up so much output on rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah, and I would put a lot of emphasis on who won the end of the fight, too.
Yeah.
That scores higher with me because, in a real fight, if you won the last part of it, then it looks like that's the way the fight was
Still
going.
crooked judging if you look at the scorecards and the judges. And one of those judges kind of giving his windows his tire slash, the one that scored one of the beginning rounds for John, 1 or 2. It made no sense.
Yeah, when they're doing a fight like that, they gotta at least score it believable, where it doesn't look like they were smoking crack during the fight.
And none of those people are actually fighters, so it's good. I know Ricardo Almeida. Did you fight? Yeah, you fought Ricardo.
Yeah, Ricardo Almeida.
Ricardo is actually a judge too. He judges, I think, in New Jersey in his area, the Mark Henry crew.
Oh, nice. Has he done UFC?
Maybe. I think so. It's up there in New Jersey, but yeah, he's one of the local. And then we have a lot of, not judging, but we have Judo Gene LaBelle out here,
Yeah, Gene LaBelle's smart.
I like Gene LaBelle. He never has a bad decision when I see his scorecards.
Yeah.
And he's one of the first kind of pioneers, too, when he fought Milo Savage.
Now, do you think Brad Pitt and the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood...
the Bruce Lee thing?
With the fight with Bruce Lee, do you think Brad Pitt's character was Gene LaBelle? Because
maybe. I've heard of stories like that.
There was a rumor that Gene LaBelle and Bruce Lee got in an argument over the stunts, and Gene LaBelle took him down and got him in an arm lock.
Yeah, and his grappling knowledge was not that much with the karate background, so yeah.
Well, I'm not saying Bruce Lee wasn't a great striker, but
I know what you're saying.
Bruce Lee's daughter didn't like the way he was portrayed in it. And she was saying the fight scene where he caught his leg and everything, they didn't respect him enough. But if it was in fact Gene LaBelle who Brad Pitt was playing, then I think she's not respecting Gene LaBelle enough, because Gene LaBelle was an OG, choking out boxers before anyone else.
Yeah, and the Milo Savage fight, which was, I think they cheated in the fight too. I can't remember what they did. I did a paper on it. I'm a historian, by the way. Blah, blah, blah.
But I heard it was
cheated. But then there was also some shit with, what's his name? Sweep the leg. Aikido. Steven Seagal, apparently he made Steven Seagal shit his pants. Judo Gene did.
Yeah, that's always been the rumor, and it makes Steven Seagal look more silly to go through to such an extent to deny it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hollywood, man. Hollywood fighting.
Like, I saw him when he was talking about it, and he's like, well, my kids are the most sacred thing to me, so I'll swear on my kids that never happened. And it just makes it look silly that he goes to such a big extent.
That's kind of why California is the mecca of MMA. It's kind of Hollywood. So we had Bruce Lee, Judo Gene LaBelle, and then, who was I thinking? Oh, the Gracies. The Gracies actually were a lot of choreography. The Gracies did.
Oh, and what about the real-life Mr. Miyagi? The guy who did Mr. Miyagi's fight scenes? He's a legit Shogun master. It'd be cool to see the Oto Machida in the
Karate Kid series, yeah.
Since he did the actual Karate Kid knockout on Randy Couture.
Yeah, that was an awesome moment, yeah.
It was an awesome moment. Randy Couture was my teammate and everything, but Lyoto Machida...
Were you out here when it was illegal? So for the viewers don't know, for a while it was illegal in California for MMA, so a lot of people used to fight on reservations. Were you around that time?
I was. I fought in the first ever legalized event in California. Yeah. It was the first Strike Force.
Yeah, John McCarthy talked about that when they were legalizing it, and because John McCain was the advocate against it, because it was cockfighting, and a lot of people, Dana White now said he actually fixed it for his criticisms. And they had weight classes, the gloves, and they made it more non-bare knuckle one style versus another style, more like less cockfightish. But
yeah, that stuff's all really stupid. I mean, in the land of the free, if people want to ride a bull or do rodeo, or if they want to do an MMA fight, I mean, that's...
now we got bare knuckle boxing back, and now there's Lithwai, and I think it's going to get legalized in Montana. You've seen Lithwai?
Lithwai?
It's the stuff in Myanmar, like Burma. It's where it originated. So it's like Muay Thai, bare knuckle with headbutts.
Oh, shit. I would like to see an MMA event with headbutts.
Yeah.
Because to me...
Mark Coleman used to do that.
Yeah, I would score high for wrestlers. I don't know how much I could do about it with rubber guard to set stuff up.
Pull their head down with rubber guard. Yeah, that probably works better to kill the headbutts. Yeah, rubber guard would be my thing to stop headbutts.
I don't know if it would kill it, but it would definitely be better than the other shit.
Once you get your grip over, you're good.
But it'd be interesting to see. I would like to see like one of us around here do the first MMA with headbutts. Because
Frankie,
it's not that much more dangerous, really.
Mark Coleman already did it, and then Frankie Edgar apparently, when he was starting out, like he did some smokers, and they allowed headbutts too. So it's like first fight he's headbutting the guy. He said.
Yeah, I mean, if you're allowed to knee me in the face or kick me in the head or elbow me in the face, headbutting me in the face isn't going to do that much more damage than.
So we have John LeDuc. He's up in Canada. And he's one of the main guys, and he's actually one of the first ones, because all the Myanmar locals, the natives, they would just brawl. So he's the first one that technically uses length and his jab. But he still can get down, throw some elbows. He also fought, who was it? It'll come back to me later, but he fought.
Who now? There's always so many good fighters.
John LeDuc, and he just fought recently. I don't know my phone on me, but it's pretty crazy when he's talking about the different skill paths when you add headbutts into striking. So he's doing it on the pads. He'll throw a 1-2 headbutt, and then when you're in the clinch, you have to. So like when I'm clinching with you, I'm giving up or grabbing. I'm giving you a free shot with your head to stop. So I have to. There's certain defense he does where he's covering his head like this.
Oh wow!
And you have to switch up your striking style to watch out for headbutts, like defense against headbutts when you're in the clinch, throwing knees and elbows.
Yeah, that would make it.
Because if you use both your hands and you're completely defensive, so you could keep your head down, so when they headbutt you, their nose goes into your head. When they're trying to headbutt you, there's things like that.
They say Holyfield and Frazier used to always headbutt everyone in boxing.
Yeah.
And that's what Mike Tyson got mad at and bit his ear. But Mike Tyson made it the biggest rock star boxing match in history by biting his ear off.
Yeah, something out of like Ozzy Osbourne biting a head off the bat in a concert.
Yeah, what's going to top that on a rock star boxing match? Mike Tyson bit his ear off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Most famous boxing match ever.
That's nuts. For big upcoming fights we got coming up, what do you think about Khabib Tony at lightweight?
Tony Ferguson.
Because you train with a little bit of 10th Planet a lot.
10th Planet are the best. I love those kids. They're always coming up with new innovative go-go clutch chokes I can try out.
There's Ben Eddy. And we'll get into
Eddy with the Hinduatine and all that shit.
We'll get into combat jiu-jitsu too, but let's talk about Habib versus Tony, but we'll get into combat jiu-jitsu and your thoughts on
yeah,
that.
Habib, everybody knows that he's the worst matchup for, Tony Ferguson is the worst matchup for Habib.
He's well-rounded.
Because he's got the striking and he's got the jiu-jitsu. Dustin Poirier, he had the striking, but he had one guillotine to threaten with in jiu-jitsu. And once that didn't work, he didn't have shit.
And then Tony's wrestling too. Like he reps it all the time. Like I'm gonna ankle pick you, snap, takedown city, snap city.
Yeah.
I mean, his Darce choke, he does it like almost like the Stone Cold Stunner. I saw in one of his fights, I believe. I can't remember. It might have been the Land of Venata one, or I might be wrong on that one. But he literally shot at Darce standing and then just fell straight to his back and Darced him.
Oh shit! Yeah, he Darced me when we were training.
Yeah, it's his favorite thing. He likes to Darce.
Yeah, he's got a great Darce.
Sometimes he'll do it without the arm in, where it's just the Bravo choke.
Oh, he does the Bravo choke too? I didn't see him do
so.
that one. We were working on the Malibu lean last time I was at 10th Planet, and it makes it really hard to Darce choke you. I'd like to see if that works on Tony Ferguson.
I love the 10th Planet League though, because there's all this stuff. Eddie's, especially with Rubber Guard, there's, what is it? Zombie Control or something.
All these new Hinduitines and Dead
Michigan
Orchards
Control.
And, Go-Go.
I love Rubber Guard for MMA. The Lockdown, not so much. That's really hard to get. I mean, it took Eddie for a while.
The Lockdown, that's from Half Guard though.
Yeah.
But I like that. I go to that all the time from butterflies or from like arm drag. If I need a scramble, I'll go to the Lockdown and go right up to the dogfight. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to stay there.
Yeah,
but that's like one of my main go-to things from the ground that I hit.
I mean, your main move, which he hit on Royal Grayson in the Menace super match, was like chair, and he got it, but it took him forever. Imagine that was an MMA fight and Roy was throwing strikes.
Yeah, I was happy he could still beat Royal Gracie.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh man, Eddie Bravo's the man. He's like a super master at jiu-jitsu. But he likes to smoke his greens, and he hasn't like competed at that level for a long time. So I was really hoping he would do good, and then he kicked his ass. Royler Gracie again, a legend. So
bent his knee out. I guess it popped out. But, Royler, went to a draw. But it was a weird scoring system. But yeah, I think it's cool how Eddie started combat jiu-jitsu too.
Oh yeah, with the open hand strikes, huh?
Because a lot of times, like right now in sports jiu-jitsu, and they're doing the sub only a lot now. Guys are just giving up position, like I just got to go for this toe hold or heel hook, and they're like, oh, it doesn't matter that I'm mounted. I'm like, I believe it should matter. And you saw that with Chad George in the first EBIs, like the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. Chad George would crucifix people and like TKO them right there with just open strikes.
Didn't Sean Orchards get TKO'd too?
Sean Orchard? Like Nathan Orchard?
No, the Dead Orchards. The guy.
Yeah, Nathan Orchard.
Nathan Orchard.
Yeah, Dead Orchard. I like that. It's a double arm bar.
Yeah, I
the
love
triangle.
that one.
Yeah, that's cool.
He beat
He's fought before too.
Yoshida with that one.
Yeah, Barry Yoshida, and I love Yoshida because he does the crucifix back there.
Everywhere.
Out of the arena.
We're
in the Mecca MMA.
There's always so many new moves coming out. I'm trying that tombstone from the crucifix.
Tombstone from the crucifix?
Okay. I saw that on YouTube. There's so much knowledge
Viewers find
available now. I mean, if you want to learn any shit about David Taylor, ankle picks, breakdowns.
Yeah, it's all on YouTube.
The new stuff that.
Before I got really into jiu-jitsu, like training it, like I was just YouTubing it, and I'd roll with my Marines, and we just submit each other,
Yeah, that's awesome. The Marines and everyone are learning it.
Yeah. Well,
Did you have a lot of free time to roll in the Marines?
Like on our off time, I'd just grab a buddy. There was a guy that trained over here at Bite Strong in Sacramento, and he trained at Gracie Barra too. So he was just a white belt, but at the time I was like a white belt too, so it was good just to roll. It was like a fun thing, roll after work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Didn't they say that there were no Marines at when they stormed the beaches of Normandy because they were held up somewhere else, like in the Philippines or somewhere?
Well, yeah, the Marines were more Pacific theater, and then the Army was more European theater. So we wouldn't see like any Marines in World War II. World War I there were. They're like Battle of Bellawood, the Devil Dog, which is where the term comes from. We're getting to a lot of history right now.
But I thought the Marines, like that was their thing, like should have been the beaches.
Oh yeah, amphibious landings because we're amphibious force.
But they were held up somewhere else, I think.
It was we were going Pacific, so there was two different theaters going at once. A lot of people forget.
Yeah, they had to defend the Philippines and Europe.
We can't just all concentrate on Hitler. You had to go, watch out for the Japanese.
Yeah.
Island hopping campaign, Guadalcanal.
Yeah,
so that's where the Marines were because that's where they needed because they figured, amphibious operations in Europe were going to be so quick. We just got off course with fighting, went to history. But I love history, so there you guys go.
Well, the technology now, like the farthest sniper kills like 2 miles away.
Yeah. Technology, man. It's crazy. What were we talking about? We just got it's crazy. Yeah, so we were talking about combat jiu-jitsu before we went on a rant.
Sean Orchards, or
the Dead Orchard.
Nathan Orchards and the Dead Orchard. And the Hinduatine, shout out to Ben Eddy, the Hinduatine. I gotta learn that shit. I haven't got that one yet. I got the Go-Go Clinch choke.
Yeah.
And that Bug Trap, I haven't got that one yet.
I heard of that. I'll look that up.
Then inverted both arms in triangle from cross sides.
What are we talking about?
Those kids are always inventing new shit.
So we were just talking about tech too. What do you think about the fact that they can instant replay now? They're allowed to, like, so you can instant replay. The ref's allowed to look at instant replay to see if, let's say, an eye poke happened, a illegal knee happened when he was down, if the guy wasn't down, if it was a nut shot or if it wasn't a nut shot. Because sometimes now, I saw one recently where they replayed it. And it's like, oh, you didn't even hit your nuts. You hit your leg. You're faking. And they started the fight right then and there.
That's awesome. I think it's great.
Yeah, so we have tech like that. We already talked about some scoring. You think the scoring needs to change?
Would he even act like he hit him in the nuts? He wanted to take a break.
Yeah. Well, that's what Cody is recently doing now with Usman. He's showing all the pictures post-fight. Of like, no, that wasn't an eye poke. No, I didn't hit him in the dick. It was in the leg. So, yeah, there's a lot of controversy. It's building up for another rematch. But right now, I think it's Usman and Masvidal.
Now, Stipe legitimately did get poked in the eye a lot of times. The first fight with Cormier.
Oh, the first fight?
Yeah, when we saw the replay and the breakdowns, that he actually did get poked in the eye.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
And that shit happens when you're posting. John Jones does that shit all the time. But how much that changed the outcome is hard to say and debatable.
Because he rocked him shortly after the clinch.
Yeah.
That quick overhand left out of the clinch.
And they're both great fighters.
Yeah.
I was glad that they both got to win one because they both deserve good things. I mean, I don't know either of them personally. They both seem like good, hard
We're both like champions. They got the champion heart. Do you think the scoring needs to change at all? Like, would you keep it the 10-round scoring, 10-9? Would you do like 100?
The scoring's pretty good. I mean, for my personal taste on things, I would score it more on like who win as a whole fight, like Pride did kind of.
One round?
Then round for round.
Oh, okay. Out of the boxing mentality.
Which leaves it kind of not an exact science where you can.
Some people are talking about scoring it down even further, like a point system off. You get a point off how many kicks you throw. Like if you land a kick, that's 1 point. They add it all up. I think that'd be a lot of math. But then they would also need counters to count that. But they do that pretty well. You see significant strikes, total strikes. So granted, sometimes when I see it, I think those are off and what they define as a significant strike sometimes.
Yeah, because then you can do like rabbit punches.
Is a leg kick a significant strike? Sometimes they should be, sometimes they're not. It's hard to judge damage.
Like when Lomachenko does the soft punches to set up the hard punch, then you'd be counting like all the soft punches if one of them touched the guy.
So it definitely changed the sport, but we're also seeing things like we already talked about headbutts.
Or what if I get mount and just do a couple?
You're probably a pro cage, aren't you? So would you prefer MMA fighting to happen like Joe Rogan talk about the open arena, or instead of the cage? I'm a fan of the cage. I think the cage is a different martial art in itself. Learning to use the cage for your favor.
The thing I like about the cage is that they can't get tangled up in the ropes.
Yeah.
Like I've been so intent on taking.
And if you gave a guy like a giant arena, I feel like that would be more pro karate, like point style, like a Wonder Boy or Leota would love that. They just run around all days.
Oh shit! Yeah, those guys would be hard to catch, huh?
Yeah, it would kind of be boring. I don't think the fans would love it. So I like the cage, keep them in a ring in a confined space. And most of the time, if you want to keep it in, like real terms of fighting, you're gonna find a barrier or wall eventually, unless you challenge someone to a fight in a medieval battlefield. There's nothing but barren grass. This is our day. They got a Bushido, slides in your DMs like, meet me in the grass field.
Well, and the wall adds like some stuff to your takedown, like
all the Habib stuff, all the trips.
Yeah, and so you can split your power and hold the leg with one hand and the hip because they can't sprawl or anything.
And even striking too. Anderson used it for, Rich Franklin. How we got Rich Franklin and the Muay Thai plum against the fence, arched his back even further, and just the knees, his head was right in the right spot.
The only thing that can be a pain in the ass is when the guy grabs the fence to stop the takedown.
And then there's penalties, and now, like I said, we have instant replay.
Like,
and that's usually a 1-point giveaway.
1-point giveaway? Because when I fought Peter Struess, he did that a bunch of times, grabbed the fence.
I just saw that.
I'm not mad at him. Peter Struess is a great guy, but he grabbed the fence a lot.
Thursday there was an event at OC Fight Club, and one of the fighters did that, and they immediately, Mike Bell, the referee, put him in the center and took the point away. Because, that stopped the takedown, and that changed the whole fight. What if he got the takedown and then just mauled him from there?
Yeah, I lost the decision on that, and I think he grabbed the fence like 3 times.
There was an opponent that held me there. It didn't take me down, but he held me just by grabbing the fence, and I was stuck on the fence for a good minute.
Well, I was thinking like maybe my counter next time, if I keep getting the guy grabbing the fence and fucking up my takedowns, is I could grab his head into the fence and Muay Thai him where he's stuck
cheese
there.
grate his head. I've had that happen on the top of my head. Some cheese grate at the top of my head using the fence. Not a good time.
Like, could I do a harder necktie if I grab the fence with your head where your head's stuck on the fence? And do a big pressure flying knees.
Let's see here. We were talking about pulling.
Definitely I could with the ropes. And IFL was in the ropes, so he grabbed the ropes on it.
Oh, yeah, I fell around the ropes.
So if I grabbed the ropes and wrapped them around his head and Muay Thai him.
What do you think's harder for grappling, the ropes or the cage? I think the ropes would be harder. I've only fought in the cage.
Well, it depends, because the ropes I get caught sometimes when I'm trying so hard to take the guy down. There have been times where I noticed the damn rope was in my arm with his leg, and I was like, oh, shit. But now I'm thinking, if the guy wants to keep grabbing the ropes or cage to stop my takedown, I could maybe do a counter where I grab the ropes with his head and a Muay Thai plum and make him stuck there and then do big knees.
That works.
And then I could say, well, he grabbed the fence first, oh well. Or grab the ropes first, rather.
So real quick, name off all the places you fought. You said you fought in Poland, you fought in the U.S., internationally. Let's keep it international before we go national.
Brazil.
Brazil. I think South Korea.
I fought in Seoul, South Korea.
So we have 4.
And I didn't get to go to Japan and those places, unfortunately. I went to the Worlds in submission wrestling in Turkey.
Turkey. So Turkey submission wrestling.
England.
6.
Poland a lot of times.
I think I already had Poland on there. Okay, we're good.
Russia.
Oh, yeah, Russia.
St. Petersburg.
Dang.
Yeah, Russia was really cool. I don't think I'm missing any of them.
And then as far as nationally, you've been, of course, California, Washington, Vegas.
Yeah, the East Coast when UFC.
Yeah.
I think both of my fights in UFC were on the East Coast. Bellator, I fought in California. One time I fought in New Orleans in Bellator. That was cool. I fried alligator.
Cool. That was awesome.
Fried alligator in New Orleans. That was pretty awesome.
That's pretty. That's just a story, man. You got plenty of stories.
I've thought about getting land just so I could go alligator hunting there.
My cousin does that. He goes gator hunting all the time.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to feel bad about that because they would eat me too.
Yeah, they're kind of ruthless creatures. They don't care.
Yeah, alligator meat was pretty good. I'd like to try the alligator steak. I'm thinking about land in Alabama, though, because they got the lowest property taxes.
That makes sense.
And it's not like California where there's high taxes and you got to get a permit to do anything. And the South's catching on legalizing medical marijuana, too. It's legal with the prescription in Arkansas, Louisiana, and Florida.
The country's coming more green, that kind of green, if you know what I mean. I think I was listening to JRE, I think they're 11.
Well, yeah, it's like how many
I think there's 20.
Pharmaceutical opiates kill how many people?
Yeah.
And alcohol in comparison to medical marijuana or mushrooms. And I've talked to my police friends, and all of them are on the same page here.
And you're seeing that a lot of fighters, of course, the Diaz brothers, but, a lot of them use it for recovery, especially CBD, camel oil. Shout out to Our Life CBD. It's a great product. I use that for, muscle rub and everything in there.
Does it work really good? Muscle rub?
So, yeah, there's a menthol, and they'll add the CBD with the menthol. So, Our Life CBD, it's my favorite one I use right now.
Oh, wow.
So you get the menthol with the CBD.
It's a miracle plant for a lot of things.
Oh, it hurts any injuries you have. Boom.
And I really like that it's making people smarter about agriculture and growing things. Because if we get overpopulated, like the smart people are saying, we're going to have to get a lot better at growing food and living walls like the Hyperion in India, where you've got these big buildings with living walls and gardens and smart floating ocean farms. I mean, that shit's going to be the future. Kimball Musk, Elon Musk's brother, specializes in that shit. Vertical gardens and gardens for kids and stuff with science, computer farms. So while Elon Musk is being a rock star sending Teslas into space, his brother specializes in good things here. And I'm a big fan of both.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot for the stars and do good things here. The precision it takes for doing shit in space, we can also apply for precision here, and precision agriculture, surgery, all that kind of shit.
You know what? I just realized too, we have Shevchenko versus Joanne Calderwood coming up. Do you follow either of those two? Maybe Shevchenko?
You know, I want to be smarter about the women's weight classes, but they're still newer to me, so I'm still learning that shit.
Well, right now she's the GOAT, and Calderwood's, it's going to be a good kickboxing match, because they're both kickboxers.
Which one's the GOAT?
Shevchenko.
Shevchenko?
Valentina.
Where's she from?
She's Kazakhstan, and I believe she's either Peruvian or Argentinian. That's her mix, but she's mainly, of course, Kazakhstan.
Oh,
but
wow.
she was a kickboxing GOAT. She was kickboxing and a champion. She fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk and won. And then they fought again at 125. Joanna bumped up, and now she's back at 115. But, she's challenged Amanda Nunes twice. Amanda Nunes.
What did she beat Joanna by?
I think just a decision. That was in kickboxing. And then she beat her again for the title defense in MMA by decision, but it was like literally one lopsided decision. She's much bigger than Joanna.
Oh yeah, that'll be a good fight. What about
and she fought Amanda Nunes twice, and they were both close fights, so she could arguably bump up and fight for the 135 belt.
She did close fights with Amanda Nunes?
Nunes, two of them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because Amanda Nunes, she seems like the only one that's like a big finisher now.
Yeah.
And that's what the women's weight class need. They need like a big finisher.
Well, she did finish randomly. That was it was definitely a lopsided decision, but she didn't go in there with a finishing mentality. She definitely took her down and controlled the fuck out of her.
But she finished Cyborg.
Yeah.
She finished Holly Holmes, Ronda Rousey, so she's the biggest finisher in the women's weight class.
Especially big names like that. Especially the Holly Holm one too, and striking was good. And the Cyborg too. That was another oh my gosh.
Finish Cyborg, yeah. I'd like to see a rematch. See Cyborg work her way back to a rematch and see.
Yeah, but now she's in Bellator and she just took the title from Julia Budd. Now it's actually
UFC cutter.
Yeah. So now she's in Bellator and she just fought Julia Budd. It was a pretty close fight, but then Cyborg overwhelmed her in round 4, which is experience and pressure. But Budd actually looked pretty good the first 3 rounds.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Cyborg's really nice. I saw her at a couple of barbecues at King's.
That's what everyone says, everyone I have on or I run into, oh yeah, she's super nice.
Yeah, she looks like she looks like a killer, but she's nice. What about that vegan stoner guy that's a really good kickboxer? Isn't he on the UFC card coming up?
Oh, Sean O'Malley?
Yeah.
I can't remember if he's fighting, but yeah, he's coming off a suspension because he tested positive for PEDs.
Most people.
Yeah. Well, USADA's so good right now, if you have tamed supplements, they'll catch even a hair of it. So you have to really be precautious.
How come they hammered TJ Dillashaw so hard when John Jones got away with it a few times?
Well, TJ was blatant EPO. You have to get a shot in your ass to get the EPO.
EPO is like the super cardio one with blood cells and everything.
So John was picograms of...
So John's could have been in his supplements and everything.
No, so Jeff Novinsky, the Golden Snitch as they call him, head of USADA in the UFC relations, he even said for a while, they don't test all the fighters for EPO, and Dana got mad. He's like, I'm paying you all this money, you should test everyone for EPO. So he finally got flagged, and they knew right away, they're just there's no accident of this happening. You have to, physically inject that in, your blood. A straight shot.
Okay, that makes sense, because I was wondering...
That's why he didn't even try to battle it.
I was wondering if he was stupid for that. Yeah. I was wondering if he should have...
Tried to fight
hammered him harder because he just didn't deny it or anything and admitted guilt?
No, they were going to catch him red-handed anyway. There's no way that could have been tainted something.
All right, so it wasn't just a stupid...
Or some accident. There's no way that could have been an accident. Yeah.
Because I'm still a big fan of TJ Dillashaw. I mean, people fuck up. He's still a great fighter.
Yeah. Oh, he's still the GOAT, especially the footwork and movement when he fought Henry Corral the first time and just... completely different fighter from you saw him early in his career.
I love how he switches leads and his unique takedowns and double legs, and I learned a lot from that shit.
Yeah, right here at the training lab.
Yeah, him and Dwayne Ludwig. I'm a big fan of both of those guys. It'll be great to see him get back in there. Shit, how long is he suspended?
I think it's going to come up eventually soon. I think it's been a couple of years now. It seems like it hasn't, but it has. So I think
time flies.
So yeah.
Yeah, it'll be great to see if he can get a rematch with Henry Cejudo. I'd like to see another one of those.
Yeah, for sure. And then, let's see, anything else big?
See if we could do a smarter game plan on it. Henry Cejudo's really good, though. But TJ Dillashaw, when he's in the zone, oh, shit.
That makes sense. All right, we anything else to cover? Anything else you want to hit up?
Ah, shit. Any other fighters we didn't talk about? We got the, what's after the Habib one?
Habib?
Yeah, what's the next pay-per-view? Do we even know that shit yet?
I think that would be the Valentina versus Joanne Calderwood one.
That's the...
This is an old one. This is an old one right here. But Valentina and Joanne Calderwood, that's coming up pretty soon. That's going to be probably the next pay-per-view after this. Coney Khabib and Zhang Weili and John Jacek are on that one as well. Same card.
Oh, shit. Yeah, hopefully Demetrius Johnson gets back in there, too, and Giorgio Petrosian in one. I'm a big, huge fan of both of those guys. Giorgio Petrosian's such a technician at striking.
Do you have any tips or maybe some knowledge for upcoming fighters? Anybody trying to get into MMA? How do you, because you fought, how many fights do you have?
I have 55 professional fights.
That's a lot. So longevity, and you did that between a span of how many years? When you started and when you finished?
Shit, we gotta turn to Google for that.
Yeah, look it up. Because
I know
a lot of people are
Final
just,
Fight.
like I was jealous of Erin. She's been fighting forever since 99. And even till now, since 1999, it's all about longevity. Just training smart, overtraining.
Well, also that I'm more of a grappler. I didn't take as much damage as Chuck Liddell, I don't think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I'm not as injured and stuff and can still
Fighting
move.
smarter, not harder.
Well, that's just...
But they always say in training that's where it happens more than the fights.
Yeah, especially for strikers, like the...
But like even in your sparring, you're looking for the takedown, you're looking to grapple, tie people up.
Yeah, well, I've been really blessed not to have a lot of injuries at that.
Even your back, your knees. A lot of wrestlers that have that, their backs, they have so many bulging discs.
I think stretching helps a lot with the rubber guard stuff. And weight training also helps reduce injuries too.
Kind of like physical therapy, rehab, things like that. Do those, everything in sync.
Well, where's my damn fight record where it tells me when the fights happen?
I think it's at the very bottom. Or, yeah, go to your Wikipedia
Did I
page.
see is it on Wikipedia?
Yeah, it'll tell you your first fight and your last fight.
Let's see this shit.
Time
That's
traveling.
When I was born, I knew that shit.
But yeah, CBD, especially with that menthol oil, our Life CBD, it's a great product, and you can even have like go to a massage place and have it massage into your muscles.
56 fights, my bad.
56.
30 wins. By knockout 6, submissions 21, decision 3, losses 25.
Yeah, your record, pull up your record, click on the record.
Where?
Yeah, click on it, click the arrow.
Mixed martial
So your
arts.
last fight was in 2017, and your first fight, time travel, was 2003. 14 years of fighting. Professional.
2003. Wait a minute, though. They're missing a couple fights. I guess they're not including my
Your last one?
PL MMA. My last two in Poland.
Was that 2018, 2019?
Yeah, because I won one against
So that's
David
about
Ramirez,
16
a good kickboxer.
16, 15 years. 16, 15 years of fighting, 50 fights.
Oh, yeah, they got those. My bad.
Okay, so
There's
it was
PL MMA.
14 years of fighting, 50 fights. Dang.
Yeah, and there's, like, for anyone that wants to learn stuff, like, there's so much great guys showing things on YouTube, the guys who do the technical breakdowns of the fight and what really happened.
You ever check out BJJ Scout?
BJJ Scout's great. Brandon
He does like
Dorman,
striking,
Weasel.
like breakdowns pretty well too. I love all the strike. I love everything that guy does. The
Yeah,
novice guy that does it.
MMA Shredded. I like when he was doing like 8 tactics from...
Oh, well, they made that right now with ESPN, Daniel Cormier. What's it called? It's called something, where he breaks down videos. I can't remember what it's called, but it's on ESPN. Daniel Cormier started his own show.
Oh, nice.
I like the BJJ Scout better. He's an OG.
I like when Weasel does the what really happened in the fight, as
And,
well as Brandon
Robin
Dorman
Black.
and all those
Because Robin
guys.
Black does it for Bellator.
Oh, nice.
And that guy was a musician and former fighter too, but he just fought an amateur circuit up in Canada, or pro am circuit in Canada. But yeah, Robin Black does it for Bellator. You check out his Instagram.
Yeah, there's so many great guys showing stuff now, and then in all the grappling stuff, like all the top grapplers, you can watch what they're showing on YouTube, and the new stuff the 10th Planet kids are coming out with, and the top wrestlers in the Olympics, and the breakdowns of Jordan Burroughs and David Taylor ankle picks. And
Dude, I'd love to see some of those top level wrestlers like Jordan Burroughs come in, but I think they're fine in their careers. I don't think but they can make a great transition. Like you're starting to see with a lot of football players are doing it. Like Matt Mitrione did it. And then we got a local guy out of here, Sean Merriman's teammate that owns Lights Out. He's fighting now. Not Sean Merriman, but his teammate. He walks out with the San Diego Chargers. Now it's LA Chargers, but at the time San Diego Chargers was when he played for them. And he's got a couple wins in the LXF cage. Used to be CXF.
It's kind of hard to see how they're going to make the transition though, because some haven't made the transition well. But if you can Chael Sonnen them, and take if you can Chael Sonnen them and take a motherfucker down before you get hit and beat up at stand-up, then it works really good.
And we've seen that with Aaron Pico. Granted, he was the Golden Gloves too, so he's got boxing and wrestling. But Aaron Pico was like that freestyle, younger kid.
Yeah, if you have both, you're set.
Yeah.
But Chael Sonnen, he could get the takedown whenever he wanted, except when he fought a bigger, stronger wrestler. Yeah. He always was fucked up when he fought someone like Rashad Evans, who could also wrestle.
Or Damian Maia got suplex into the triangle on him.
But what Chael Sonnen told me about that one, he said Damian Maia hammer-fisted him from guard so hard that he was almost knocked out when he did that takedown on him. Because I was like, man, how the hell did you get lateral thrown by Damian Maia?
Yeah, he
said that happened.
Yeah, a hammer fist from bottom, damn.
Yeah, he said he really smacked him with one, and he was pretty.
I hit him on the ear, and the ear's what take out your equilibrium. You see that? You saw that with the T.J. Dillashaw, Henry Cejudo was kind of out of the ear, and you saw that with the Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier hit him on the ear, and then all your equilibrium comes out.
And is that the one that he did the EPO for and still lost?
EPO for Dillashaw and Cejudo, and that was the one that hit him on the ear.
That just goes to show, like, that doesn't guarantee you the win.
Yep.
Like a lot of the time, if you take shortcuts, like God rewards it if you just give your best shot without it.
All right. You got anything else, man? Anything you want to shout out to the viewers?
God bless. I hope it's a great year. Everyone follows our dreams. Learn how to work smarter. That's a big one. Get the land, get the girls. We got a lot of important shit to do. I'd like to thank all the people at Subfighter that helped me train, and Eddie Bravo, and Matt Linland, Chael Sonnen, Randy Couture, Dan Henderson, Israel Adesanya, putting on great fights, and their family and their puppies. And
everyone and their mother. All right, man. Thank you.